The next session, ladies and gentlemen, is about live long and prosper, how good bacteria can supercharge your microbiome and enhance longevity, with Dr. Sunita Kaur Ahluwalia from Malaysia, and the discussion will be with Dr. Ashwini Chopra on gut probiotics. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Kaur is a well-recognized and experienced person in the field of regenerative medicine. And recently, she has also been awarded the Presidential Award presented by SAAARM. And we can't be more than honored to welcome them here on the stage with your huge round of applause. Please put your hands together. Would like to request Dr. Sunita Kaur along with Dr. Ashwini Chopra to please step up here on the stage.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Sunita. I'm from Malaysia. Let me share with you a very simple way of getting your health span back. Okay? We speak on probiotics today. We've been told that probiotics may be beneficial for you. I'm here to tell you probiotics is vital for you. Why do we need probiotics? What are probiotics? Probiotics are actually live microbes. They are the microbes that are present in your body, and they feed off the food that you eat. Whatever you eat are called prebiotics, and the probiotics feed off the food which you eat. Okay? We have probiotics everywhere in the body. We have it on our skin, we have it on our hair, we have it on our foot. We have 95% of our probiotics, or the live microorganisms, within our gut. The gut is your second brain. Why is it your second brain? Because the microbes that are in your gut will be the ones that will digest your food to the simplest form and produce a metabolite that is vital for your health. We all know we are the food which we eat. I'm here to tell you, you are what the microbiomes you have within your gut. Why? Probiotics are very important. 3 main functions. Probiotics, or the microbiome in your gut, is the one that controls your immune system. It's the one that normalizes all the intestinal microflora in your gut, and they produce a specific metabolite. This specific metabolite is why you need your microbiome. So now that you know that you need microbiomes, aka your probiotics, which one should you take? We all know we need microbiotics. Which ones should you take? This is the list which we all know. Lactobacillus, Bifidobacillus, we know Vitagen, we know yogurt, we know quite a few of probiotics. But it's gone beyond general probiotics. We need precision probiotics. Why? Because each probiotic in your gut has got a specific function. Now, these probiotics produce metabolites which will sustain or keep your body in balance. Without the metabolites being produced by your microbiota, you will not be able to overcome a disease. Each microbiota has a specific strain. Each strain will produce one specific metabolite, and that metabolite is the one that will sustain your health. What am I coming to? Very simple. We eat eggs every day, but if we do not have the intestinal microbes that can digest the egg which you are eating, you will not produce the one most important metabolite that we need, called phosphatidylcholine. We can eat the eggs. Without the microbiota, without the probiotics, we will not make this PPC or choline. Choline is one of the most important metabolites that keep your arteries plug-free. So if you want clean arteries, if you want arteries that do not have plugs, you need to have your eggs every day. But if you have your eggs without the intestinal microbiota that digests the eggs, you are back to square one. Okay? So that's why the microbiota is so important. We have so many types of probiotics in nature. It is where we have to find it and how we want to eat it. Okay? Each probiotic has got a specific species. Each species has got a specific strain. The reason why we are here today is to tell you that we are not into generalization anymore. It is more of precision probiotics where each specific strain will produce each specific metabolite that will reinforce your health. The probiotics that we have in the gut will digest the food which you are eating. Without these probiotics, you will not have the postbiotics. These postbiotics are the ones which give you the metabolite that you need. Now, having said that, we have only 40 trillion microbes in your gut. And to keep 40 million microbes happy is not easy. So what causes the imbalance? Why is it that we all have got a gut problem? And why is it that we have to keep this microbiota in balance? Your diet, your stress, medications that you take, the pathogenic bacteria in the air, all will change the microbiomes in your gut. It's just not the environment, the host-specific factors, and the strain itself will change the gut environment. Now, if your gut environment is good and you have the specific probiotics with the specific strain that can digest the foods which you eat, you will overcome a disease. We are the food which we eat, yes, but we also need the microbes to digest the food so that we have the metabolite effects that we need. The key to your healthy lifespan is to have a balance in your gut. So if your gut microbiota is balanced at all times, then you will not have a problem. Now, how do you know that you have good gut health? Just looking around, we can find out that we have got good immune system. We cope with stress very easily. We do not have a problem with sugar craving. In other words, we do not have a disease. If we are diseased at any one point of time, we are having a microbiota imbalance. So where can I get these probiotics from? Please don't tell me you need to go to the pharmacy and get a bottle. The probiotics come from the foods which you eat. That is why we need to eat a variety of food to make sure we get all the probiotics that we need. Fermentation of food is what causes the probiotics to grow within the food, and that is why we need a variety of fermented foods. Why? Because each food will have a specific probiotic species which produces a specific metabolite. We then go on to make sure that we populate our body with different types of food to get the diversified probiota so that we have a diversified metabolic substances which will go on to keep you healthy. It is just not a matter of probiota, it is also what you feed the microbiomes, hence why we need a variety of foods, especially your carbohydrates, to feed the microbiota so that the metabolite that is produced will overcome the disease. In short, what am I trying to tell you? If you remember just one thing today, we need a variety of bacteria, good bacteria within your gut. We need a balance of bacteria in the gut, and we need the gut bacteria to be diversified. Why? Because the microbes that is in your gut will digest the food that you have to the simplest form to produce the metabolite for you to sustain life. So probiotics is not maybe beneficial for you, probiotics is vital for you. Thank you.
So since there are so many species and so many genes and strains, how do you test and where do you test? Because nowadays bioinformatics and the genomic studies can localize which exact bacteria you have in which part of your colon and which is associated with a particular disease. So how does one decide Because nowadays the issue is this new generation probiotics, which means they should be safe, they should be, specific for that particular disease, and so how do you decide that?
So we have gone from just taking any probiotic that we want to specifications of probiotic strains. How do we go about doing this? We use a stool test. That's the simplest method nowadays. We collect stool samples, we send it to the lab. The lab will run a test to see which microbes you have within your stools and which microbes you do not have within your stools. Then the doctor, which you are seeing, will go on to repopulate your gut with the deficiencies that you have. Okay, another way of doing this, a very simple way of doing this, okay? You have a disease. Let's say you have got arteries which are clogged. You know that the deficiency will be something like choline. What do? You look for foods which have the probiotics that carry the microbiota. You eat those foods to the point where you do not have a blockage in your arteries anymore. Okay? That is now the new frontier in medicine, where it's called precision probiotics. We duplicate and we repopulate the gut with the specific strain, because each strain will produce one metabolite that will overcome one disease. So if you have that disease, we check your stool samples, we look for the deficiency, and we repopulate your gut with that strain so that you overcome the disease.
We sometimes hear about certain side effects that probiotics can cause. Can you just elaborate on that?
We have good bacteria, we have bad bacteria. There's no such thing as good and bad. We just need a balance. The balance in your gut may be different. The balance in my gut may be different, because both our guts have got different environments. Okay? So what do we need? We need to make sure that the bacteria in your gut is giving you the metabolites that you need. There are several tests which we can do to make sure that the bacteria is healthy in your gut. One of it is called a hydrogen gas test, where you blow and see whether you've got this H2 hydrogen in your breath. If you do, then you are producing fermented substances, which is not healthy for you. Simple way of putting it. If you do not have bloating, if you do not have diarrhea, if your feces is nice, like a banana-shaped kind of
Anaconda.
shape, like an anaconda, right, then most probably you will not have a gut problem. But now we are going into precision probiotics. So one step further, we test. So how do we know? We have to keep testing and testing and testing until we reverse the disease.
Another issue, I'm just going a little off track, is that some people who are immunosuppressed or who have certain diseases, or if they are in the ICU environment, that they sometimes don't do as well with probiotics as people who are not in that situation.
Okay. One of the function of probiotics is immunomodulation. Okay? We use probiotics in cancer patients, in patients who are in ICU, to increase the NK cell count in the body. There are specific probiotics you can use to increase the postbiotic NK cell count. So in these patients who are in ICU, who are not doing so well, you need to test. You need to test the stool to see whether you have the probiotics that immunomodulate your immune system. That's where we need to come in with precision probiotics. We have a lot of microbiomes in our body, especially in the gut. We have bacteria, we have fungi, we have worms, we have parasites. We have to live in harmony. We need the microbiomes. We need to make sure that the microbiomes, the parasites, the fungi are in balance. We can't get rid of one species. It will repopulate your gut again. It comes from the food which we eat. The idea of deworming is to remove the roundworms, the tapeworms, which is more in number than is needed, right? But here what we are trying to do is to keep it in balance. The balanced microflora in your gut is what gives you your health span.
Special stool test called GI mapping, where they actually check which bacteria there is, whether you have enough of these metabolites in your system. Like she explained, that these probiotics will produce metabolites, and when they kill bacteria, those killed bacteria will release certain chemicals. So these chemicals can actually be checked in your stool, so you can know, are you digesting well? Do you have enough good bacteria? Which are the bad bacteria? Which parasite needs to be eliminated? And so on, like that. So these are special tests which are difficult to interpret, by the way. And I think I'll go along and list.
Yes.
It's available in India, yes. Dr. Dang has got a little booklet in your bag. Dr. Dang is now doing all these tests. So if you have Dr. Dang's booklets, yeah. That is why a new term, like we have vegetarians and non-vegetarians, we now call it locatarians. That means you have what is locally available. Yes, you're absolutely right. It will change if I like packaged foods, processed food, anything that brings from outside is packaged or processed. So that will really screw up your microbiome.
Can I just answer your question? Where do we find microbes? Where? In what do we find? We've got 3 classes of food. We've got fats, we've got oils, we've got carbohydrates. Where do you find your probiotics? It's mainly in the carbohydrate content of food, okay? Take a banana, you put the banana on the table. The banana, which is a green banana, will turn yellow, it will turn black spots, and the banana content will disappear. The microbes would have digested that banana. Now, coming to your question, if I'm here, I'm from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, my gut microbiomes are already adjusted to the carbohydrates which I get in Kuala Lumpur. I land here, I'm lactose intolerant, I drink your fantastic masala chai this morning, and guess what? I will end up with a lactose intolerant problem. Genetically, my genetics, I'm not lactose intolerant at all. But because I do not have the microbiota to digest the milk which you have here, I end up with a problem. So all these diets which you are suggesting, they are good, they are fantastic. It is just specifically to each environment. That's why when we change the environment, it will take time for your microbiota to change. If you eat foods which are not your specific staple throughout the day or throughout the week, you do not have the microbiota to digest that food. That's why we run into problems. We run into allergies, we run into bloating, we run into IBS, because we do not have the microbiota. We can adjust. I stay here long enough in Delhi, Dr. Sanjay. If I stay with him for the next 1 month, my microbiota will adjust. And then I go on to digest whatever foods that I have here. Okay? It is just a matter of putting back the carbohydrates, fermented foods that grow the same microbiota here to digest the foods which I get here. That's all. That's why specific strains produce specific metabolites. If we keep changing our environments, we keep changing the food type that we eat, the microbiota cannot keep up. That's why we need tests to see whether you have that specific strain. If you are globe-trotting all over the place, your strains have not adapted to the food which you eat. So, by the time you reach Kuala Lumpur, you will end up with an allergy, right? By the time you are done with Kuala Lumpur and you reach United States, you will end up with an allergy there because you have not adjusted the microbiomes to your food. That's why we have something called jet lag, where we have to adjust our circadian cycle. We have to adjust the microbiota in your food. So if this patient has got a problem, allergy to everything under the sun, you need to do a stool test. You need to look at the strain. You need to see what is the food he is eating and why he is having an allergy. Put back those specific strains, you won't have a problem. They are tailor-made, that's why it's precision probiotics. So we do the stool test, we look at whatever is deficient, and you repopulate your gut with that deficient strain, not the species, the specific strain. Okay? So we have got COVID. COVID, we all know that where does the microbiota that helps you to overcome COVID? Take a guess. Take a guess. We all have got COVID. We all have got microbiotas. We can overcome COVID ourselves. I have not got, thank God. But what food do you know that can overcome COVID? Cheese. Cheese somehow, blue cheese especially, fermented blue cheese, has got the specific strains that overcome or helps to maintain the homeostasis with your lung-gut axis. It overcomes COVID. You maintain the immunomodulation effect that you do not end up with a disease.
Generally, fresh, soft cheese have less probiotics, and the hardened cheeses have much more probiotics.
One strain produces one metabolite. Give the person that strain, you overcome the disease.
Well, probiotics are not like plants that you plant in a garden and wait for them to grow. So you have to continue with your dietary changes, your prebiotics and your natural probiotics for that garden to the fertile soil to remain fertile. Now, it depends on the disease you have. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, then you need it for a much longer time.
When we speak about probiotics, now one step further, we have the live microorganisms and we have the spores, all right? Spores stay in your gut and it will germinate whenever there is a deficiency or when you need those probiotics. Live microorganism, roughly plus minus, you last about 4 days in your gut, depending on the environment. So how often do you need to repopulate your gut? It's now going to depend on what type of probiotic you are going to use, live organisms or spores. If you're going to give your patient spores and the environment is good, you probably need it for 2, 3, 6 months. I don't know, depend on how much is the deficiency. But if you're giving the patient live organism, right? Now this live organism will have to go through your stomach, survive the pH of your stomach, reach the jejunum and do its whatever it needs to do in your gut. It will last about 4 to 5 days maximum. Whatever live organisms you swallow in a pill comes out within 72 hours. So your question to us is, how long? It depends on what type of probiotics you use.
Typically, lactobacillus and bifidobacteria and the Saccharomyces, which are the usual ones used, do not colonize your gut. I mean, they are effective while they are there. And what she was saying, that the spore-based probiotics are the ones that remain in inactive form, are the ones that are really, really helpful. These are soil-based ones. So the, the hygiene hypothesis that we should be always clean and keep sterilizing our hands and fingers, let the dogs not lick your mouth and so on. So that's how the soil-based, and they are replacing what we are not getting from being too sterile. So the question is, they don't colonize. You need them for a very much longer period.
So your question is, how do we transport the probiotics? It's going to depend on whether they're live organisms or whether they are spores. If you're in India, up north here, and it's cold, you can use live organisms. Me, in Malaysia, at 32 degrees, we use spores because how do we transport cold chain? It's going to be very, very difficult, very, very expensive. So we try and make it as conducive as possible for the patients. We use spores, right? So when do we use spores and when do we use live organism will depend on your experience doing probiotics, because only you will know how much of microbiomes you need to give the patients. Okay, what you're trying to say is, I look at the patient's poo, okay? If they come to me with diarrhea, which is like just water coming out, obviously you're going to need at least 2 to 5 billion a day, right? If they come to me with paste like Colgate coming out, okay, maybe 2 billion will do. But if they come to me with just a little bit of diarrhea off and on, most of the time it's quite okay, then we adjust the probiotics to get the live microorganisms together with spores to repopulate the gut. That part of repopulating the gut, unfortunately, nobody teaches us. It comes from experience. So as you do more and more, we always rely on tests because the test will specifically give you the number which is deficient. And from experience and from the product which you are using, that's the other problem. The product which you are using, you will find that you can fine-tune this as much as possible to overcome a disease.
Label and see the exact constituents. You have to see the number. You have to see whether they're following good medical practices, whether they are gluten-free, this free, that free, that free.